birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
most. It's the round of 12 opener in the GoatLocker Racing Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. Oh, it's a good one here tonight at Richmond Raceway. Doing Boyle joined alongside Jeremy Briggs. Hope everybody is enjoying this from Bastian's Restaurant and Bar, as well as everywhere else. Coming to you live on Maconi Entertainment. Well, it has been a 10-race regular season before we move into the playoffs. Only 5 races to trickle down 12 drivers into the Oregon champion, Richmond and Charlotte. Only 2 races in the round of 12 for drivers will be eliminated following the race in Charlotte before we go into a 1-week break for American Thanksgiving. Iowa and Nashville. It's kind of a similar deal. We go from a short track to a track in the 2-race round of 8, just like we're going to go to in the 2-race round of 12 before the championship is decided at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, one of the best tracks on the circuit. Let's take a look at who is in the playoffs. And J.J. Moore won the regular season championship. He will be joined alongside these 11 other competitors for this Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series crown. Jeremy, I'm going to bring you in on this. It's a really solid group of drivers. We've seen all of them compete for wins, top 5s across this 10-race regular season. But now, it really matters.
Good evening, Dylan. Good evening, everybody. Yes, it does matter. And our last year's champion, Patrick Drabeck, right there in 12th, has got a big hill to climb. Can he defend his title? We're going to have stories throughout this whole playoffs, as it's going to happen very quick for these drivers. One mistake could ruin your championship hopes.
One mistake for sure, and Richmond Raceway is one of those tracks that if you make a small mistake, there's not much room before you're into the outside wall, and there will be lots of traffic to compete with if we have green flag racing here. It was formed in 1946, and while 14 degrees of banking does not seem like a lot when you start to compare them to other tracks around the NASCAR schedule, 14 degrees is still a substantial amount, and if you're standing on the apron at Richmond Raceway looking into the outside wall, I'll tell you what, Jeremy, it's actually pretty steep from what you'd think.
I've never experienced Richmond in person, but I know you have, Dylan, and Richmond's got a lot of great characteristics. I believe we're going to have some great racing here tonight, as always. With the GoatLocker Racing Series, we take a look at our Maconi Setup Shop race analysis. As of course, we've got the NASCAR Next Gen Series cars here with Cruisin Classics as our awesome sponsor. 120 laps the distance, 4 tire sets available, and there is just a fixed setup for everybody across the board. A lot of heavy hitters in the field tonight. We'll see if there's a Cinderella story into these playoffs.
While in some series in GLR competitions, such as the Invet Sunday Truck Series gives you a fast repair, you do not get a fast repair in this Next Gen Series. Actually, you know, Jeremy, I work for Colleague Racing in public relations, and last year, the driver I did PR for last year, Chandler Smith, we won at Richmond. So I've been to victory lane as a member of Colleague Racing here at Richmond. It is a special track for me, and it will be a special track for one of these drivers who gets themselves into the round of 8, or we could have a spoiler take part and play a part before things are all said and done. Everyone is still going through qualifying right now, and we should get the grid in just a few moments. Yes, we are getting it now. The pole position, the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award, goes to Jesse Whittington, who will start alongside Chance Taylor on that front row. And for Whittington, Whittington, that's big, right? Jesse Whittington is coming into this race ranked as the 6th seed in the championship. So getting that Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award is big for him. Ryan Pendleton will start right in behind, and Logan Sturgeon will start in 4th. Now, Sturgeon and Pendleton also championship competitors. Chance Taylor did not make the playoff picture. Lucas Lyons alongside Daniel Cunningham in row 3. While in row 4, we've got Cody McElwain. Jacob Ellingson will start alongside him in 8th place. Jason Taylor, George Jewell rounds out your top 10. Jeremy Gardner alongside Blake Edel, as well as Jesse Nakula in 13th. Jake Collins in the 81 machine in 14th. JJ Moore, that's a big story right there. The regular season champion, he is down in 15th place to start this short round of 12 off. We'll see if he can drive through the field here in that Toyota Camry. James Kaufman, Bobby Germain, Cameron Westenberg into 18th. Timothy Wilms, Patrick Drabick, Joe Hobbs, and Jacob Blanke, your 22 car field. They go around, they start for 2 pace laps here, and there's no better time to talk about the primary title partner of this series, Cruisin Classics. Cruisin Classics has been buying and selling cars for many years. The majority were your average daily drivers, but their passion has always been in muscle cars and hot rods. So in 1996, Cruisin Classics built a 56,000 square foot showroom located in Columbus, Ohio, that they still operate out of today. All of the vehicles are handpicked and selected to ensure they fit in our inventory. The facility is now arguably one of the best stocked collections for sale in the U.S., housing hundreds of unique automobiles all under one roof. There is something for everybody when you come to visit. And of course, 22 cars under the lights here at Richmond Raceway for 120 laps. Tire wear might be a factor. 1 stop, maybe 2 in this race if drivers want to play strategy. Green flag is out. We are underway, and Whittington roars into turn 1.
Roaring into turn 1, they're still side by side. Pendleton, Taylor, side by side for second, trying to get their positions down the backstretch as the 94 of Whittington drives away into the dark roads. I guess there's no sunset right now. It's already dark. It's side by side by side by side to the rest of the field as 1 lap is complete.
Side by side, multiple drivers go into turn 1 in the top 5. The 23 of Ryan Pendleton moves into clear second place. Chance Taylor trying to fend off Logan Sturgeon. I don't think he's going to be able to do so, though. Sturgeon was unable to clear Chance Taylor, and it still is a Taylor P3. Pendleton lost some ground right there and had Sturgeon right on his rear bumper going into 1.
23 car was sideways on the front stretch that time. I don't know if it was the cold tires, but he might have gassed it up a little too much right there coming off of turn 4. Looked like a better exit that time. 94 driving away from these drivers as they still continue to battle here for second, third, fourth, and fifth. As we got the Lucas Lyons machine, the 48 machine right there, white and purple with the red banners. All the drivers with red banners are in the playoffs. Don't forget there's also drivers out here not in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and Lucas Lyons, one of those drivers that has performed very well across multiple GoatLocker Racing series here. Not in the playoffs, did not meet that minimum participation requirement, but he could play spoiler in this race, currently racing within the top 5. Okay, so the standpoint of tire wear, we know where the mark has been set. Best lap times, all in the 22.5 range, some the 22.6, and some others who are in traffic right now in the 22.7s. That's something to keep an eye out for as this run goes on. I think most drivers, if it stays green, are going to want to come in at the halfway point. However, could you potentially see some different strategies at play if we get to that point? Could drivers try to go a lot longer if the wear is not so substantial in this one? It is under the light, so track temperatures are not going to be as high. Or could we see some drivers try and pit at lap 40 and then lap 80 to maximize tire wear? I don't know if that's the right way to go.
So many different strategies, Dylan, and these drivers are going to have to make those decisions. We've got a pretty good race going on here so far. 8 laps in, all green so far. I've seen a lot of drivers slipping that right rear coming off the turns. The 48 machine really tight on the exit of turn 2. Drivers right now trying to figure out and get their cars into a rhythm. It takes them about 5 to 6 laps to get the tires warmed up and ready to go. We're already past that mark. These drivers are starting to get the feel for the cars. start making those passes. It's going to be desperation here because it looks like we are at a one groove race right now. And we know that the Arrow, even though it's a short track, it is still hard to pass.
It is one of the more difficult tracks to pass at. Doesn't matter if it is a next-gen car or a truck or an Xfinity Series car. Heck, you can even go all the way back to IndyCar. IndyCar almost came back here in 2020, but obviously COVID had other plans for that. I don't want to mention too much of that, but it was supposed to come back. IndyCar at Richmond. It was here a number of years ago as we follow on board with Jesse Whittington. Has lost a little bit of momentum from in front. Pendleton is just 4/10 away from Whittington and has been closing in just a little bit in the past few laps.
Slowly but surely tripping away at that lead. The Pendleton machine kind of running a different exit off of 4, comes off a lot higher than the 94. Not sure if the 94 is running a different line in turns 3 and 4, or if the 23 is just kind of letting the wheel kind of go a little bit earlier so he's not burning up the right front. Like you said, just slightly starting to chip away. Their lap times are almost matched lap times. This time will probably be just as close.
Yeah, these lap times are starting to go down already. We're on lap 13 of this race, 120 laps, and it is a 3/4 mile racetrack. The race in total will be 90 miles long, so not a long race whatsoever. It's actually not even half of what the Xfinity Series in previous years and this year have run at the 3/4 mile racetrack in Richmond, Virginia. Those have typically been 250 lap races, and in trucks, I believe they've done 200 when they've been here. So obviously it's a little bit different when it comes to this very quick sprint race feel almost. I mean, you could try to go on a full tank of fuel all the way to the end, and I'm sure some drivers will just entertain it, but none will go for that because the tire wear is going to be immeasurable as Chance Taylor sees competition from Lucas Lyons trying to go around the outside and get into fourth.
One of those drivers with multiple wins this season, looking to make that pass, and he does on the outside nonetheless. Just before we were looking at this battle, we had the 6 machine of Cody McIlwain, one of those drivers that was pretty dominant this season. Slowly but surely making his way up, just kind of sitting there in 7th right now. But we've seen that 6 car up front all season long.
Cody McIlwain is one of the drivers that are in contention for this championship. Started this race in 7th. He runs 7th. The end of the championship, or at least the regular season title fight in 2nd. So while J.J. Moore was seated number 1, won that regular season championship, Cody McIlwain was right in behind. And speaking about J.J. Moore, he's currently P10, up from 15th place in this race. So it's a quick start for him, of 5 spots within the first 18 or so laps, and that is a mark that he's going to have to continue upholding, because if he doesn't, well, that could spell doom, as there's one car way up the track, up against the wall in 1 and 2. I believe that was Bobby Germain. Nonetheless, you know, with these rounds being so quick, only 2 races, a result outside the top 10 here would be disastrous for Juju.
As we take a look back up front, the 23 is now all over the back bumper of the 94, trying to make that pass for the lead. We're 100 laps to go in this race. We've already got our first battle for the lead as Pendleton's going to get to the inside of Jesse Whittington. Whittington going to let him have it. It looks like Logan Sturgeon trying to make his nose in there as well.
Pendleton will take that lead away. Sturgeon takes away P2 very quickly. Jesse Whittington has fallen to the bottom step of the podium. And look at Chance Taylor taking a look down the inside of Lyons. Way late on the brakes, gets into the inside of Lyons. And now they're 3 wide. Daniel Cunningham trying to make a move. And oh, there's a car into the inside wall. That's Cody McGillen. Caution is out. And we were talking about the successful season that McGillen had. It could unravel here.
What a domino effect through the field once those cars started to get bottled up. You see a 4 wide here on the exit just for a brief moment as there was contact there between the 48 of Lucas Lyons and Chance Taylor. I believe that was the 96 that came across. I didn't check it there, but the 6 car obviously into the wall. Heavy front end damage.
That's just a 4 wide situation for a moment. That's just a kind of a chain reaction. I think drivers could have been a little bit more patient right there. We still are early in this race. Hard to blame any one driver for that incident, but we have gotten to the point where they can all come down pit road and get some fresh tires on these cars and a fresh or a new paint, or can't even speak, a new little bit of the fuel into those next gen machines. Jacob Ellingson up into P1, JJ Moore as well, Jake Collins and Patrick Drabick. So they're going to take a chance here, save a set of Goodyear tires. I don't know if this is the best move. Now, funnily enough, Lucas Lyons will be the first one off of pit road. So I think we've seen a bunch of differing strategies here. Lyons may have only gotten fuel or may have only taken 2 right side tires, because the amount of time he spent in his pit box was 4 to 5 seconds less than the rest of the field.
A lot of different strategies throughout the field. The Lincoln Tech machine of Jacob Ellingson is going to take the lead here as we are now on lap 25 of 120 here on Maconi Entertainment. This race is going to be one to see because the playoffs have started. We got a great start to the race. We'll see how these strategies play out for these drivers.
Yeah, you're certainly right about that. Great start to this race. Always fun to see drivers racing hard and all being within a relatively close mark of each other. You don't always see that margin be so slim in every series with top-ranked drivers. So Cody McGillen coming back out onto the track. He is 1 lap down, showing on our time charts right now. So we'll see if he's able to get that damage repaired. I mean, it was a hard hit to the inside wall down the backstretch, and it's unfortunate for him that that incident happened on the backstretch because there's barely any room to try and save the car and get it slowed down completely. We'll see how much damage he's got once he's up to speed right here, but he catches up to the tail of the field and will be the only driver 1 lap down. So if a caution comes out, he will be back on the lead lap, almost certainly, and it would be because of the lucky dog. So cars are starting to go double file again. We're about to have a restart on lap 28 of 120. Now this changes the strategy maybe a little bit again, and it makes it more interesting in a way. Do drivers try to go 90+ laps on one set of tires, or do they cut it into halves here? I don't know.
I personally, I'd be a halves. If it plays out that way with the cautions falling just right, I would definitely take the strategy. Let's see how it plays out. We're coming back to the green now.
Hopefully we do see it go green for a while to get that strategy to play out. Jacob Ellingson will lead the group to the green. Top 4 drivers on the same set of tires that they came into the pits with. So we will see, or came to the caution with, we'll see how this plays out. Ellingson, JJ Moore now down the inside, started 15th. Looks for the lead of this race, got tight on exit. They're still side by side. Ellingson led the lap, but is on the outside. Almost contact between he and Moore.
Great battling up here. Oh, Ellingson gets loose. Taps the wall. He's up against the wall. Cars driving down to the bottom, just trying to avoid him. Ellingson is going to continue after contact with the wall. No other drivers involved so far. It looks like they're all going to get clear. As JJ Moore now finds himself the lone wolf up front with Patrick Drabeck right behind him in second. Our last year's champion coming in here 12th into the playoff standings, trying to make some points.
Oh man, that could have been disastrous right there. But all the drivers for now survive. I mean, it's kind of hard when there are so many different drivers trying to get around these lapped cars that you just try and find the best, or excuse me, these drivers on older tires. You just try to find the best line to go around everything. Jake Collins has fallen back to now 6th place as he's starting to get swamped. Obviously, Ellingson way in the back after that, but still JJ Moore and Patrick Drabeck, they're the two drivers that are still in the lead of this race and are on those older set of tires. So this is really playing out well for them.
Wow, look at this close racing there between Jake Collins and other drivers. You got Chance Taylor, Logan Sturgeon, Jesse Whittington all around him. This is some close battling. One thing about a 21 car field, 12 of these drivers are in the playoffs, and it just feels like you cannot get away from those other playoff drivers.
Oh
just trying
no,
to keep
save it! Save it! Going into the corner. That could have been disastrous. Come on, Lucas Lyons. I mean, he is drifting it all around, looking like Shane Van Gisbergen after a win at Sonoma there.
Absolutely had his hands full, and that's going to make, oh, it's Jake Collins in the wall.
Jake Collins up into the wall with that money line machine. And it looks like it's only cosmetic damage. He inserts himself back into line. All of a sudden, the track seems to be a bit slippery for everybody here.
A lot happening so very quickly here on the track with all these drivers. Like I was saying, just feels like you can't get away from these playoff drivers. We got a battle here side by side. Pennington and Jeremy Gardner battling right there behind the 07 of Patrick Drabeck. Drabeck on those 36 lap old tires trying to hold off these 12 lap tires.
This is some intense racing at Richmond. As going down the inside, this could be troublesome. Jeremy Gardner gets down to the inside of Patrick Drabeck. Will we start to see the 4 fresh tires go to work here? And easily Gardner is able to get underneath and skirt away. Jesse Whittington in the 94. He wants to reassert himself in that podium spot and maybe compete for the lead. He gets the 3rd. And I'll tell you what, Drabeck, he's got to get back down to the bottom if he can. JJ Moore is getting reeled in quickly by Jeremy Gardner.
JJ Moore's last lap was a 22.9. Jeremy Gardner was a 22.5, just to show the speed difference right now. Definitely showing, trying to do the best they can to hold off with those older tires. But the Gardner machine's going to get to his inside here, going into turns 1 and 2.
We're hearing reports that Whittington got very loose and has fallen back to 9th, but you see on your screen JJ Moore back to 2nd. Jeremy Gardner leads the race, and there's Whittington on the bottom. He's still struggling to get a handle of that car. I mean, it seems like these drivers are just getting on the throttle quite early when they're in high revs and just dirt tracking it all around here. As side by side, Drabeck and Logan Sturgeon. Sturgeon gets the spot. Drabeck continues to slide back.
We'll have to ride on board and see if these drivers are shifting. But these drivers have definitely got their hands full as we're almost to halfway here.
Right on board with Patrick Drabeck right now, and we can talk a little bit about the speed difference. Last lap for Drabeck was a 23.149. Jeremy Gardner's last lap was a 22.76. That's around 25 lap difference on tires. It's not horrible, you know, 24 lap difference. I mean, 3/10, 4/10, that might make up a decision for some of these drivers later on. If they have somebody telling them that information and they know that the difference between a fresh set of tires, and by fresh I mean now 19 laps old, and a 43 lap old set of tires, I mean 3/10, it's not a horrible fall off number if you play a strategy game right, overcut, undercut.
As we watch that battle there for Draybeck continue to fall back, and Ryan Pendleton gets around the Moore machine. As we were riding on board there with Draybeck, he was not shifting. He was in 5th, but we ride on board with our leader, Jeremy Gardner. At this point, Jeremy Gardner, he's in 4th gear down the backstretch, and he's shifting on the front stretch.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks you want to shift at, as Jesse Whittington tried to make a move underneath. We're on board with Jeremy Gardner. Let's ride on board for a lap, see what he does here.
Quick shift down into 3 and 4.
Yeah, it seemed like he, A
little blip right there on the front stretch as well. Just really quick back into 4th and 5th.
Yeah, last lap it almost seemed like he went into 3rd for a brief moment on the exit of 2. At least that's what our telemetry is saying. I mean, you're spending, I'd say 80% of the lap in 4th gear. And maybe a combined 2.5, 2 seconds in 5th gear. As now J.J. Moore and Ryan Pendleton go side by side. Easy gain for Pendleton.
A lot of passing starting to go on here as drivers are falling off, as we got another great green flag run on our hands. Got about 20 laps on this stint as well, as we are now 48 laps into this race, creeping in on lap 50. Right now, all but one driver is on the track, and we got, looks like 2 cars laps down, so 18 cars on the lead lap here. Still plenty of cars in it to win it.
This is interesting with how the tire strategy is starting to play out. I mean, you look at a driver like J.J. Moore and a driver like Patrick Draybeck, who is currently being swamped again. This was expected. The loss of positions was expected, but they're doing a great job of playing some defensive driving. They're really doing a solid job of staying up front, being relevant. Draybeck's still in 6th, J.J. Moore in 4th. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. Now 50 laps on this set of tires. They've got double the amount of laps on their tires than the rest of the field has, for the most part. And then you look at a situation like, Jake Collins, or even somebody like Jacob Ellingson. Ellingson's way off track. He's actually out of the race, and I'll tell you who else is out of the race. Cody McGillen. That's a huge problem for 2nd place in the playoff standings. I mean, that could be playoff ending right there.
Being one of the most dominant drivers in the season, this 10-race regular season, now into the playoffs, having an incident earlier. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. One mistake could end your playoffs. We'll see if Cody McIlwain can bounce back next week. But as we get back to the live action here, Blake Edel and the number 18 trying to get underneath the number 91 of Daniel Cunningham, as Patrick Draybeck doing a great job, still in 6th place, with 53 laps on his tires. Speaking of 53 laps, they're going to be getting ready to come to the pits, I think, soon. We've got almost another green flag run on our hands.
I mean, we're almost at that halfway point here. And if you're J.J. Moore, if you're Patrick Draybeck, both of them 5th and 6th, I think you think about going into the pits maybe around lap 65. I mean, that's what I would do anyway. We'll have to see exactly what they do. That would help them potentially, maximize the life of the tires. And, I mean, if we still look at the lap times, they've about equalized at this point.
I was just going to say that. Yep, I was just looking at the timing right there. Did not mean to interrupt you, but they're doing a great job having those, was it 30 lap older tires. Really matching the leaders' lap times now as we are about 30 laps on these tires. It's kind of crazy to see how quickly they've evened out.
Hey, when you've got good information like that to share, please cut me off every single time, because it is great info right there. You know, like this last lap, there was a bit of a difference, maybe a tenth, 2/10, but that's only from the leader of this race in complete clean air. That's an amazing number that they're hitting right now. So you know what that tells me? It tells me that the fall off is around 4/10, 5/10 maybe, half second, on completely fresh tires to tires that are 25 laps old, but 25 laps to 50 laps, it really starts to close the gap. That there's not really a cliff there yet. So, I don't know, maybe that, I don't know if that convinces them to maybe stay out a little bit longer or not, but I do expect Moore and Drabeck to still go quicker into the pits than anybody else. I like that we're so far seeing this strategy play out.
Love that we have all this green flag racing right here to have these great strategies playing out. GoatLocker Racing, gentlemen and ladies, doing great here tonight. Look at that close battle as Drabeck trying to stop the bleeding. Almost got in the back of Blake Edel there, as Drabeck is now right to the edge of the top 10. Jason Taylor has now got his sights set on the Drabeck machine.
Just awesome racing. This is exactly what we like to see. And we're now about to go past this halfway mark. Quick race so far. Good, solid racing from all of these drivers in this race. It is just good to see. And Jeremy Gardner continues to lead the way over Ryan Pendleton. 2 seconds in between Pendleton and Sturgeon. They've only got a half second between them for second. So the battle up front has died down for now, but something tells me this is not the last time we're going to see this battle for the lead. Well, it might be one of the last times we see it like this, dead.
Jeremy Gardner putting on a clinic right now. Got out to that early advantage, and now he's just kind of hanging there, maintaining that gap as we are officially past the halfway mark for the opening round of the playoffs of the GoatLocker Next Gen Cruisin Classics series. You can see right there, side by side for Lucas Lyon and George Jewell. Lucas Lyon's trying to make his march back to front. One of the drivers earlier in the season that was doing really good and kind of, unfortunately, just either bad luck or just not working out for him. But right now, right outside top 10, just trying to get his way in there.
Jewell doing a pretty decent job today. Even though he started 10th, lost his spot in this race, some of that due to some pit strategy from drivers in front. I mean, sometimes you just got to maintain position. If you know you're not going to be that solid at this short track, maintaining position is just as important as having a top 5 run, having one of those really solid nights at the track. That's what I would say. By the way, we're at lap 65 now, so this is where I think that drivers like JJ Moore, Patrick Drabeck might consider going into the pits. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if they are going to pit, I would assume the window is open. It is absolutely open right now.
Right now, those drivers that are on this strategy are just praying for a caution. They're just saying, somebody please, just a yellow flag. I'm ready to get to pit road. You don't want to go down pit road on a green flag here, because I would assume you're going to lose 2 laps close to it. This is a very slow pit road at 35 miles an hour. It's right now as we're riding on board with Jesse Whittington. He's right now almost 5.5 seconds behind Jeremy Gardner, who's still setting some pretty good laps up there at the top of the field. These other drivers, like we said, JJ Moore and Patrick Drabeck on that different strategy. Their pit window's open. Like I said, they're just praying for that caution.
Yeah, pit window is definitely open for them. And if we talk about the other drivers in this race here, I mean, we went back to green flag racing around lap 28, and that gave us around a 90, 92 lap run to the finish. Well, thought processes would prevail that they'd come down into the pits, let's say, lap 75. I mean, that's cutting that in half. So, hey, maybe they all come down to the pits together with more of an undercut going to somebody like Drabick. I mean, Drabick looks like his tires are shot right now, though. He's down in the 12th. Still not going down pit road. JJ Moore still on track as well.
We have one slow on the front
place.
stretch, or is it in the pits? Looks like in the pits, sorry.
It's all good. Do we have our first green flag pit stop taker of the night?
He is multiple laps down as a Jacob lengthy machine. So he's just on and off pit road. We'll keep an eye on pit road entry to see if anybody else comes down. Because like you said, pit road strategies are open to come down pit road after whether they're splitting this race in half per se or splitting this stint in half. We're now 47 laps into this stint. I would say probably 45 laps green. It's great racing here by these drivers.
Lap 72 of 120. And that gap between Gardner and Pendleton, while it has come down at times, it's pretty much maintained a consistent 2-second difference in between them. JJ Moore still holding strong in 8th place. Now, if you recall, JJ did start this race in 15th, Jeremy Gardner in 11th, like Edel in 12th. I mean, these drivers have definitely moved up a fair bit of spots. 1st, 6th, and 8th on track right now. And Gardner got there through sheer driving, as well as Blake Edel. JJ Moore was up to 10th before that caution, and still is in 8th on the same set of tires. 74 laps on them. As side by side goes Jewel, as well as Chance Taylor. I should say Jason Taylor, that is.
I want to go through the field, but I feel like as soon as we start talking about these drivers, it might start coming to pit road. But I think we're going to give it a shot, as right now we're riding on board with Jason Taylor in 10th place. But like we said, up front is Jeremy Gardner in the 69 machine leading the way with Ryan Pendleton right there in 2nd place. He is currently just under 2 seconds to the leader. Running in 3rd position, you got Logan Sturgeon finding himself 2.5 seconds back. In 5th place, you got Chance Taylor, or excuse me, 4th place, you got Chance Taylor. Rounding out our top 5 is our pole sitter, Jam Printing and Promotions pole sitter, the 94 of Jesse Whittington. 6th place, you got the 18 of Blake Edel. 7th place, you got the 91 of Daniel Cunningham. JJ Moore. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that gap between Gardner and Pendleton came down around 2/10 that previous lap. Their last lap times were only 300 between each other, so this sizable gap has been cut out of it. We'll continue to watch if that gap comes down at all in the next few laps, depending on, of course, if these drivers do come down into the pits soon. I mean, I don't know. Now, given the fact that they're still all out on track, they're just past that halfway point of this green flag run, I could see them trying to go all the way here, but that fall off is around 50 or so laps, is around 9/10 of a second.
Man, if these drivers, like you said, try to stretch it out to the end, that is going to be one heck of a drive. As the tires for the JJ Moore and Patrick Drabeck machine, they're 80 laps on those tires. We'll have to see what happens if they come down pit road. We'll see the speed difference, if maybe they can unlap themselves and maybe pass for the lead. But right now, their hands are probably just waiting for that caution flag. This is the field right now is, I would say 3/4 away around the track. Leaders have ran into one lap car so far. It's up to speed per se. That hasn't been involved in an incident. As we are now at the lap 82 mark.
Yeah, I feel like at this point they've all kind of made their bed. Any advantage that they would have gotten from the fresh tires, I mean, if we get to lap 90 and they still haven't come into the pits, I would have to assume that they're staying out the rest of the time. Because 30 laps on tires could be a big difference. We've seen it play out in real-world competition just a few years ago in a long green flag run to the end of the race at Richmond, as Taylor and Edel go side by side here. This is for 5th. We saw Denny Hamlin go from a lap and a half down, pretty much came all the way back to win it after coming in for 4 fresh tires with 30 laps to go. So tires can mean something here, but it is during nighttime, so it might not mean as much.
Those drivers on those older tires, those 23 lap older tires, 24 laps, excuse me, running same lap times as our leaders again. As one driver was trying to make a pass. They were pretty close in times though, leading up to that. Right now it looks like fastest on the track might be the Whittington machine, the previous lap.
Yeah, and don't forget, actually, the previous lap's fastest lap was actually Ryan Pendleton in 2nd by 9 thousandths over Whittington's time. And looking at that, you see that gap has come down substantially still. So Ryan Pendleton has perhaps saved his best for the final quarter of this race. His last laps have been half a tenth. I mean, they've all been quicker than Gardner. I think he's going to catch him. I don't know if he'll pass, but he'll certainly catch.
When he catches them, what is he going to do with them? Nothing beats getting a victory. Nothing beats getting a victory. What are you going to do to get that victory? Are you going to bump him, or are you just going to try to make that clean pass? If you're in the playoffs, you got a lot to balance there.
There is some low-hanging fruit with Richmond and trying to win for a playoff spot.
Just saying.
Oh, man. Last lap time was quicker for Jeremy Gardner, so he has answered back. By the way, J.J. Moore down pit road, so it was that secondary strategy that I was talking about, coming in with around 30 laps to go. Does this cause a response from anybody? Is it too late for some drivers to feel comfortable with going into the pits? I like this move from J.J. Moore. He was going to continue to hemorrhage some positions. Now he's going to be on the attack for the rest of the race.
There's no better feeling just being on offense for the rest of the race. Right now finds himself as the second car 1 lap down. So caution right now. He might not get his lap back unless he gets the wave around. Got to get around that number 42 of Bobby Germain to get his lap back. As we look here at this battle between Jake Collins, James Kaufman's right there.
Oh man, this is going to be fun. I'm really going to enjoy seeing the speed that J.J. Moore has in that car. Collins trying to make a move on the 25 of James Kaufman.
The 23
And, oh, he slides up! Collins got into him, and he somehow saved it. I mean, there was so much space given by James Kaufman for Jake Collins. He just completely overcooked the corner. He does it again. He still can't get the move done. J.J. Moore almost got spun. He almost spun off the front of a driver that was a lap ahead, and that would have been on him completely because he wasn't clear. He thought he was, but here's the speed difference between J.J. Moore and the rest of the field. J.J. Moore saying, please do not wreck, and don't wreck. He's saying it into a mirror. Look at that speed difference. Got tight on the corner right there was Collins. Moore's got speed.
A little bit of clear track in front of him right now to gain some of that lap time back. Still needs to get to the Bobby Germain machine. Finds himself, looks like just over 9 seconds back. as it is closing in quickly though.
So Pendleton has caught up to Jeremy Gardner. That gap, which was stable at 2 seconds around 30 laps ago, started coming down ever so slightly. And I wonder if Pendleton knows that JJ Moore has got fresh tires. He's wasting no more time. He got tight on corner exit though. And with 26 laps to go here, we've got a race for the lead. And JJ Moore is close behind. Oh man, loose was Pendleton. Those tires are gonna be hot. They're scorching right now. He's gotta get them cooled down just a bit. He's got a lot of time to make this move happen, and Gardner goes up and hits the wall.
Absolutely got these hands full as Whittington now finds himself in the picture for the battle lead. We've got cars on different strategies, lap cars slightly in the way, but they're on the track too and they're here to race. Look at those brakes glow. The drivers are hot, the tires are hot. They're just trying to get to the finish as we're creeping into that 30 laps to go.
What an awesome battle for the race win we've got going on, with storylines all over. Bobby Germain down pit road right now. I think it's a little too late for him. Whittington tries to throw it down the inside of Pendleton. A 3-horse race for this lead and potentially the win here. They're all fighting like crazy. Whittington down the inside of the 23, slides up, got tight. Those brake discs are glowing red hot as 3 cars under a blanket coming at 22 to go. Oh, Gardner got tight. He got tight mid-corner, and now they're side by side. Pendleton leads at the line, but the momentum back with Jeremy Gardner. Pendleton's gonna try and just push him up. Lead changes hands. Ryan Pendleton takes him down the backstretch.
Over 70 laps of green flag racing here at Richmond in the next gen race cars. They're putting on one heck of a show here for the battle for the lead, coming down to the final 30 laps here at Richmond. This is just some great battling, Dylan.
Unbelievable racing. I think Jeremy Gardner totally overcooked those tires, trying to hold on to the lead of this race and maintain a large gap. Like I said, I thought it would be the last time we really see a dead lead battle. That certainly was. I'm gonna get a check on where JJ Moore is. I don't know if he's got any more speed in the tank to come into a battle. Yeah, he's nowhere close right now to the leaders. So I think the biggest thing for him is getting back on the lead lap. I just don't see it happening. So I wonder if that strategy call there was the wrong one for him. He was the only one to take that call. I mean, he probably felt like he was about to hit a cliff with the tires. I just wish for his sake he would have went a little bit earlier as Collins up into the wall. Was that Pendleton getting a bit loosey-goosey with Jake Collins trying to keep himself on the lead lap, and now he goes side by side with Jesse Whittington. He got pole position in this race. Pendleton, high side, slides into the corner. Those tires are just screaming for mercy. Whittington down the inside, clears him into 3.
Whittington led the first 20 laps, kind of lost the lead, let the drivers have it. Now, with 17 laps to go, finds himself back in the lead and trying to pull away to win this thing and lock himself into the next round of the playoffs.
Oh, Pendleton really sent it in deep there, tried to get to the rear bumper of Whittington and couldn't do it again there in 3. Got a bit tight, took his foot off the throttle. I feel like Pendleton knows that Whittington's got the fastest car at this moment in the race, so he's trying to just rattle his cage right now. But look at how tight he gets on corner exit. I mean, when you roll so much more entry speed and you enter lower, you got to slow that car down mid to late corner to just get it to turn. I mean, look at all the speedy gains into corner entry. It's fleeting. You lose it all going out of the corner.
Tried a different entry. Yep, just tried a different entry there. It was a higher entry into turn 1 and 2. He saw the mistake he was making. He's trying to make an adjustment, trying to get to the back bumper. The 94, he's right there.
My goodness, he certainly was right there. And he's going to really send it in deep here. But Whittington should get a better run down the backstretch. Certainly did, but got way loose on throttle application. These two drivers are going at it.
Man, he's right to his bumper. We're coming to 13 laps to go. This is going to be a great finish. We've got over 80 laps of green flag racing, and it's coming down to this.
Just awesome. Just awesome stuff right here. Short track racing, a battle for the win, and an advancement into the round of 8 in this Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series battle. Way tight up the racetrack. Ryan Pendleton, 3 car lengths, the disadvantage to Whittington.
Pendleton maybe trying to cool his stuff off a little bit right here. Maybe take another stab at it as he keeps seeing the back bumper. That 94, he's doing everything he can to just roll that bottom and just trying to get that throttle as quick as he can. Like you said, it's making him loose, it's making him tight. Ryan Pendleton in the 23 doing everything he can to get to the leader of Jesse Whittington, with Jeremy Gardner there in third, falling back. Nowhere's in sights right now to this lap, or this lead battle. So it looks like it's going to come down just to Jesse Whittington and Ryan Pendleton as we are now at 10 laps to go.
I mean, Whittington, we thought he was going to start to pull away. These two drivers both started in the top 3 positions of this race, and they are just going at it right here. 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds back is Jeremy Gardner. A really good center roll speed for Ryan Pendleton. Does not result in momentum down the front stretch, but will it do something different here down the back stretch?
Ryan Pendleton doing everything he can to get to that 94. One little slip up from Jesse Whittington, and Ryan Pendleton is going to be able to pounce. Oh, as Ryan Pendleton gets loose off of 4, that's going to give the Jesse Whittington machine a little bit of breathing room as we are now at 8 laps to go. Here in the GoatLocker Racing Series, we got 1 lap car in the way. That's going to be the 48 of Lucas Lyons. What is Lyons' plan? Does he want to rattle this lead battle up, or is he just going to get away from leaders? We'll have to find out here shortly as we got 7 laps to go.
I mean, they're running so hard right now for the win of this race. All way up the track was Pendleton, and Whittington, as we're watching from on board a lapped car. Lucas Lyons, that is, who gets right in between, sandwiched between Whittington and Pendleton. That could be the race-winning move right there for Jesse.
23 of Pendleton trying everything he can now to find his way around the lap car of Lucas Lyons. Going to make it a little bit harder for him, but the 23 now just a half second back as we are coming back to 5 laps to go. He's going to need a 1/10 of a second to try to get back there. Did he burn up his tires, finally doing everything he could? Did Jesse Whittington execute perfectly, starting on the pole and finding himself back here, with now coming to under 5 laps to go to find himself in the lead after 90 laps of green flag racing?
Just awesome. Awesome stuff here. And now for Jesse Whittington, he just needs to maintain this gap. He can even take it a little bit easier. Going through corner entry, corner exits in this race. 12 drivers currently on the lead lap. And for J.J. Moore, that decision to go into the pits, it might come back to hurt him, because Patrick Drabick has only fallen back to 12th. He has not changed tires at all in this race. Yeah, he's going much slower, but there's a 7-second gap between Lyons and he. That's a good move for Drabick. J.J. Moore might be wanting something back there. Could come down to a couple points. 2 laps to go. Ryan Pendleton, I think he knows 100% that he is losing this race. And by losing, it means just being the first loser, that is. Whittington just needs to get back to the line, take the white flag. He's about to see 1 lap to go here. What a performance.
Awesome execution on a Jesse Whittington. Just a few more turns for the number 94 machine.
Speed all night. Whittington got the Jam Printing and Promotions Pull Award. He's going to convert that all the way to a checkered flag. He wins it at Richmond and gets his lock into the round of 8.
As the checkered flag is waving on the rest of the field, we have to give it a props to these drivers in the field tonight. So much green flag racing, 96 laps roughly on this last tent to take it to the checkered flag. Watch Jesse Whittington right here celebrate real quickly, and we'll come back after a quick break for our results.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Great race here at Richmond Raceway and the playoff opener in the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series in GoatLocker Racing. Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs bringing you the action on Maconi Entertainment. Let's take a look at the race results after 120 laps. And Jesse Whittington grabbed the win. A spirited battle between he and Ryan Pendleton in the last quarter of the race. Logan Sturgeon will finish on the bottom step of the podium in third. We'll talk to all three of them in just a few moments. Blake Edel and Jeremy Gardner round out the top five. Daniel Cunningham, Jesse Nakula, Georgia Jewell, Chance Taylor, and Timothy Wilms, your top 10 finishers here. In 11th place is Jason Taylor. Patrick Drabick, a strategy, did not go into the pits once, will finish in 12th. Neither did Jake Collins. He'll finish in 13th, while Lucas Lyons, JJ Moore in 15th. I don't know if he's going to be too thrilled about that finish there for him. It's where he started the race. James Kaufman in 16th, Bobby Germain, Jacob Ellingson, Jacob Lenke, Cameron Wessenberg in 20th, and then resulting in 21st place, Cody McIlwain. That's a huge impact to the playoff standings going into the final race in the round of 12. Joe Hobbs did not take the green flag. That is your 22 car field and where they finished it up. And with that being said, it is time to go into the race winner. Did I hear
Every time.
Mario?
Yep, every time.
Man, every time I'm kind of questioning what I hear, and I'm like, wait a second, is that like something you set, or are you just ready to go?
No, that's something I set. It's something that typically kind of makes people laugh, so just keep it going.
Well, I loved it for sure. So keep it on up. And hey, you got the dub here. Spirited battle between you and Ryan Pendleton. You got the Jam Printing and Promotions Pull Award, and obviously you converted that to a race win, but it didn't come easy.
No, it didn't come easy. I mean, I was trying to save my tires that first run, and whenever I saw Logan and Pendleton pass me, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let them do their thing and try to chase them back down a little bit later on. And oh, sorry. And then that caution came out, and I was like, oh well, crap! I'm in a bad spot now. And then I slid through my pit box, and I restarted like I think 11th. And worked my way up to third, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna settle in, save my tires like I was before. And then I get loose coming off at turn 4, nearly go into the inside wall and drop back to 11th again. And I was like, okay, I really got to take care of my tires. So I just settled in and ran with it, and it worked out. I mean, I hate the fact that I really honestly got past him because of how hard a lap car was trying to race whenever we were right there. But I mean, at the same time, you know, I'm here to win, just like he is. He would have done the same thing to me. All the respect in the world to Pendleton, though. That he's a class act, and I had a lot of fun racing around him, battling him for the lead. He could have easily moved me or dumped me or something, and never did. So great work by him and my buddy Logan, who came in third. That's a good podium right there.
Yeah, all drivers who qualify within the top 4 finished on the podium. So really solid driving from all of you guys. Was there ever a question of pit strategy if that green flag didn't come out? What were you guys going to just split it in half
Oh, absolutely not.
all the way?
We had like 130 or 128 laps of fuel, and I was like, screw it, I'm going the whole way. I ain't gonna sit back and try to get cutesy with it, and that's why I would let Ryan and Logan by early in the race. And yeah, that's exactly my mindset. I was not gonna try to pit.
I guess the biggest question that we had was depending on the fall off, obviously it's under the lights, so track is not going to be as hot. You didn't really have to worry too much about the fall off there going into that strategy play. So, Jesse, I'll give you the floor. Who do you want to thank? And appreciate your time.
Yeah, and thank y'all. And of course, I always have to thank my family for their constant love and support. And Whenever I come out here, my daughter's always telling me to come win, and tonight I get to go back inside and tell her that I won, so she's going to be happy. It's going to be exciting. Of course, I got to thank Focus Fuel, new colors on the car this week. I just felt like kind of changing it up. I may need to keep on running it for a little bit. Burt's Beat, who got me hooked up with those guys, class act people over there. Lechon Brewery in Denham Springs, Louisiana. Great little place to go. Good homemade crafted beers. Luke Haley Music, I got him 3 times on the deck lid. I love that guy to death. My team, Full Lock Racing, always supporting me and making me push to be better than I was the day before. And of course, to the league, GoatLocker, and everything that they stand for, all their sponsors that come over. I don't have a list of their sponsors, so I do apologize about that. But everybody that comes over here and supports them and lets them do what they do, it means the world to them, and of course the people that are associated with them. I haven't been here for very long, but I've seen a huge impact that they've done. And of course, thank to you guys for putting on the show. I can't wait to go back and watch this one now.
If I do say so myself, it was quite the exciting race to broadcast. Thanks again, and congratulations, Jesse.
Thanks, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your night.
Who Jesse was trying to thank as well. Cruisin Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. You guys better take a drink for that mention. Lincoln Tech, Jam Printing and Promotions. The 4 horsemen of the Cruisin Classics Next Gen Series. All right. Jeremy, you're standing by with P2.
We are standing by with the position number 2 finisher in the 23 machine of Ryan Pendleton. I believe he does have Cruisin Classics on that machine as well. Ryan, what a battle out there tonight between all of you drivers. That last run came down to over 90 laps green, man. What was it like from the driver's seat?
Yeah, I was shooting for that long run. I was hoping we'd catch it. My team kind of had split strategy, but I won the long run. I was a little worried because Jeremy didn't fall for quite some time. And then to be honest, I was so focused on catching him, I didn't even see Jesse Whittington coming in my rear view. So hats off to him on a great race, as well as Logan. Made a little contact with Lucas Lyons early in the race. I just got loose coming out of 2, so apologize to him. Would have liked to add a little bit more cooperation. Almost got a bump and run done on me by a lap car. Unfortunate, but I don't know if that would have done anything. But that's fun. I love Richmond. I love short track racing, so I thought the race was great overall.
It was definitely great racing, and that's one thing about these playoffs is you're out there with other drivers during these races. What are you looking forward to next week in the upcoming races?
Yeah, hopefully just being competitive. It's always a bummer when you feel like you have a chance to win and don't get it done, especially in the playoffs. But I'm excited. Second place is a good finish. Just try to be consistent. It should set me up pretty well for this round. Charlotte's not my favorite track by any means, but just go out there and finish the race one, and then as always try to be talking to you guys in the night.
And before we send you off, Ryan, who do you have to thank for getting you here?
Yeah, I appreciate that. We have so many people to thank, as always. We just had a huge event. This is the Cruisin Classics series. Nasty's Restaurant and Bar is part of that. We were just there this past weekend, so go check out the social media if you haven't seen it. It was a huge event. We gave away another simulator, and we couldn't do that without all of our partners. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Whip Brewery, Veterans for Life Foundation, and Veterans for Life Racing. Jamie was out there, which was great to meet him finally and hear about what Veterans for Life Racing has going on next year. So excited to support them. NVET, Amber at Jam Printing Promotions, and everything that they do for us. Super excited to always, shout them out. Maconi Setup Shop, B Speed, Nazareth 360. You guys always, the broadcasts are so good. Love watching them. And then every one of our other partners, Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, Alexander PCs. I got to check one of those out for the first time in person. They're awesome. Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, and then Taylor over at Above the Yellow Line is doing so much for us on our social media. So I know that list longs, but it's important, and go check out the social media and you'll see why we say it, because giving those sim rigs away, I think we given away 2 in the last couple weeks. So that's what it's all about. The racing is fun and it's a bonus, but that's what it's all about. So thank you to all our partners.
Couldn't have said it any better, Ryan. Congratulations on the second place. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, guys, appreciate it.
And that was Ryan Pendleton, your second place finisher. And we are going to bring in Our third place finisher here tonight in the number 26 machine, it's Logan Sturgeon coming home in third place after starting in fourth. Good start to the playoff, Logan. What do you say about tonight? That was some great racing.
I need a beer after that one. I am gassed.
Head on down to Nasties, right?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I went into tonight like Richmond's been good to me in the past in other leagues. I went into tonight just wanting to have a good top 10 run. I needed to start the playoffs strong because I came in eighth, so I'm already on the cutoff line. Um, and in practice, I just practiced my long run. Something told me that we were going to run long, and we did. So that really helped. Car felt good up until about, I don't know, maybe like 20 to go. Then I started really pushing. Um, but other than that, I mean, it was a hell of a race. Um, just I'm pretty I'm pretty exhausted after that.
We set up here in the broadcast booth when we saw those brakes glowing. I had a feeling the drivers were going to be hot too. Like I said, over 90 laps of green flag racing. That is great to see. Logan, congratulations on your third place finish. Who do you have to thank for getting you here tonight?
Well, gotta thank my team. Thanks to Jeremy Gardner. He was giving us some tips before the race on different like brake bias and different setup stuff for it. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery, Cruisin Classics, and Nasties, who were both in Ohio. I'm Northeast Ohio. Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jam Printing, Maconi Setup, V-Speed, Nasara.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll talk to you again here in the playoffs.
Thanks, guys.
That was Logan Sturgeon, Dylan. Man, what a race.
Yeah, some fantastic racing here, and we're excited that we were able to bring all of it to you on Maconi Entertainment. A win for Jesse Whittington means he will move on to the round of 8 here and rest a little bit more easily going into next week's round of 12 finale. And that, of course, will be coming at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So it'll be fun reporting live from that. But for myself, Dylan Coyle, Jeremy Briggs alongside me, of course, Nasties, Cruisin Classics, GoatLocker Racing, Lincoln Tech, Jam Printing and Promotion. So many partners to thank. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in on all of our social media streams. Lots of fun, lots of excitement, and we were able to show it all to you. 120 laps, only one caution, and Jesse Whittington, the winner, with a late move around Ryan Pendleton. For us, that's it. Good night and good racing.
want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.